Today we are going to work on a newborn size hat, and we always get these in a 4-pack, and so these are just standard at any good crafting store or even department store. So what ring we're going to be working on today is the second one in. If you're thinking about making hats, the first ring will make this size. This is kind of like a preemie, if not a little bit smaller than a preemie. The second size that we're going to be doing today is this, so you can see the size difference of the hat. And if you want to go to the third ring, it goes to an adults. So there's really not a good ring for a mid-size between newborn and adults in this particular configuration. So what we're going to do today, let's get started on the newborn, and you're going to need, in my purpose, you can just do one yarn for the whole thing, or you can mix it up. And we're going to mix it up just to give you guys a little bit of an idea on what you can do with this stuff. So let's go. The first thing we need to do is just grab a piece of paper and just write 2 columns, 1 through 10 and then 1 through 12. And we're going to be using that to check off our way. So the secret answer to the newborn size is 10 and 12. So a little bit of research on my part got me that. So what we have today, we're going to be using for the brim, I want to make the brim kind of like my Santa hat. I want to make it fuzzy, but I want to keep the rest of it actually just normal wool. So what I need to do is that I need to combine the yarn to do that. The problem with the eyelash yarn that we're going to be working with, and most of them, is that the connection string is so thin that you'll never be able to use it and actually have any good kind of stability to it. So we need to mix a complementary yarn. So it doesn't have to be white, it can be whatever you want. So, and if you don't want a fuzzy brim, you can just use 2 yarns together at the same time, or you can double wrap, and that's another video all to itself. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to make a fuzzy hat brim newborn. So we're just going to wrap our strings so they're just together. We're just going to put the back over the forward and then the back up and then push. Okay, so you have your first slip knot, nice and easy. And before you get all excited, this is my styler pen. I just call them styler pens because I think it's a fun name. But this is just an emptied out regular pen. This is a generic pen, and it really helps you be able to really speed up on your wrapping process. So let's begin to cast on. So we're looking at it, we have the knob that's on the side, so I use that as the starting point so that I know where I am on this project at all times. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to work toward the left, and then if you're left-handed, you might go the other way. So I'm going to slip it on. If you look at it, you have the knob that's up there, so I'm going to go to the peg that's on the left-hand side of it. You'll notice that there's no peg that's actually directly in line. So I'm just going to slip it on, and I'm going to pull it snug. I'm not going to reef on it like a hee-haw. And what I want to do now is that I want to wrap, and we're going to be doing the twist wrapping. So let's begin to do that. So we're going to come into the inside of the ring. We're going to come to the next peg, come to the outside, wrap. Okay, so this is called the E-wrap. So we're going to come around and back into the center. So basically you're going like an E shape around each peg. So going into the next one, just underneath, around, outside, back through. So let's do the next one. So you just have to just continue to wrap like this. And so basically the material grows out through the center. So you want to make sure that the connection points are on the inside of the ring, not on the outside. Because it is growing on the inside, the material has somewhere to go. You can't grow the material on the outside. So let's continue to wrap. And if you can, wrap this thing about halfway down through your pegs. My styler pen, the actual thickness of it doesn't slide between the pegs very well. So I'm just going to stay toward the top, and then we're just going to move down. And if you're doing this by hand, you probably would be at the top as well. So we're coming right back to the center point where we started. And so now let's just push down. And then don't go reefing down right to the bottom. Just go about halfway, because you're going to end up having to pull those up over the top anyway. So this is your casting on process. And now when you work with 2 yarns like this, you see how everything's kind of joining together? The 2 yarns are working together like as if they're one. That's perfect, and that's what makes it very easy to use multiple yarns here. So now we're going to go around the ring again. So just attach. So we just stopped right where we left off. And so we just keep going. So let's wrap. And you will get one of these done in about 45 minutes. Very, very quick project. Very satisfying project, I will say. When you're done, this thing looks store quality. It's not even funny. So let's continue to wrap. and we wrap all the way to the starting point where it's already double wrapped, where you already have 2 on there. So right where you have 2, you're going to stop. And so now what you want to do, just grab your left hand, grab and hold that yarn now. And now using your hook tool, you want to take the back, okay, the one that's on the bottom, you want to take that and pull it over the top, like so. And then what you want to do is you want to get in a habit of using your thumb on the opposite side of your hook. So my thumb is already in position, okay, and so I'm just going to go to the bottom, pull up over the top, and now I'm going to push down about halfway. So we're going to go all the way around the ring doing this. So there's no tricks or things, just keep up over the top. Now technically I would work with this ring upside down. I'm only working with this at this point just for your purposes, but I would work on it like it was upside down. It's just easier to pull out and down than it is to pull out and up and over. So this is the casting on process, and if you're following along with me, this will be counting as the number 1 on your 2 columns. This will be the 1 through 10. This will be number 1 when you get all the way around the end. So I'm going to do this hat a pure white. I don't have a pure white hat, a pure beige, kind of like whitish. That's what I'm going to do. Now because I'm only using with 1 string, there's actually a little bit of a secret with this loom knitting, is that I was teaching originally that you always had to have 2 strings. Turns out that's actually false, and there's a way that we can get around that. The advantage to doing 2 strings at the one time though is that your loom project will speed up by half. The disadvantage is that you'll end up with 2 yarn balls and with material left over. So using your thumb, you kind of pushed all the way, like halfway down, and so now we're just going to take our list, check off that we've already done it, and now we want to wrap again. So wrapping in the same direction for this entire project, just wrap it again. And you'll get really fast at this. Make sure your yarn is freely coming out of your yarn balls. Makes a big difference when it's coming up into the styler pen and back down. So I'm not going to take you through all 10 rows because it's pretty well what you see is what you get. Okay, so what we're going to do is I want you to go through all the way to number 9, and number 10 what we're going to do is we're going to create our brim. So just keep on going, okay, until you get to number 9, and then the 10th come back and we'll start number 10 together, and what we're going to do is we're going to fasten off we're going to create the brim, and we're also going to fasten off the eyelash yarn. I only want the eyelash yarn for the brim. Eyelash yarn tends to be really expensive, so I don't like to overuse it, and plus you might destroy the whole effect of the hat if you have it too much. So, but not all hats have been destroyed like that. We had the Frosty hat. I think it turned out really amazing. So we're just going to keep on going, and I'll see you back here when we start row number 10. So we just finished row number 10, or 9. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to push these all down to the very bottom of the thing. We're now going to create the brim, and the brim is actually a folded over area that we actually permanently affix into our knitting here. So we'll just put the material, just let it go into the center. And what we want to do now, this is the yarn that we have been working with. We're going to snip it maybe about 6 inches, like so. You can take your styler pen out if you want to. And normally I would just use the same styler pen, but I have another one already lined up. I got like 20 of them. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to make a tie. So just make a tie in your hand, okay, like so, and make a tie loop, just like so. Make sure you grab both strings. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the tie piece and tie it around the peg. Okay, so that will help it go off. And then don't worry about this extra long piece. What's going to happen now is that we're going to actually put on our next material. So in this case we'll go green, and I'm going to put it to the left just like I did before how we started. I'll put it on the left, and we're just going to put it onto the left hand side of the actual peg there. And what we're going to do is just pull it snug, not too tight. And what we want to do is just wrap only once around each one. So wrap once. Okay, so we're going to work our way in a circle. And then at the end of this, I'm actually going to make the complement. I was going to do a white hat, but it's better to show you how to change colors in this project at any time, especially if you don't want an all white hat. So I figured, I got thinking about it during the thing. I'm like, it's kind of dumb to show you an all white hat when you're not changing any colors. So just coming up and around. So we're just going to let that fall to the side. Okay, and so now we want to look and start the fold. So let's push all of these green ones as far down as you can go with them. Okay, so we only wrap these once because there's so much going on in this particular step that wrapping the green only once is actually a better idea. So now you're just going to pull out your yarn like so, and you're going to notice there's lines, and the lines are in between each one of the pegs. And what we want to do is just locate the first one. So, and basically there's lines that are attaching each one of the stitches together. We want to find the very bottom one of that, and we want to loop it up, just the bottom, and there will only be one white and one eyelash on there. And what we want to do is put that onto the loop, onto the peg, sorry, like so. And when you do that, then very next one is actually revealing itself. It's coming back toward me. It's actually just standing right in front of my face, so going there, and when you do that, it reveals the next one. Making sure that you grab both. So you want to keep grabbing these and putting them up all the way around. Now what happens if you didn't go down all the way, like on the right peg? Doesn't really matter at this particular point, because it's gonna, if you are off by one, it's really not gonna make a difference on the visual of your project. So the whole idea is that when we go out and over these pegs at this point, is that we are going to be affixing the brim into it. And I actually really like making the brims. I think it's a great step, and it's kind of fun, you know. And really, you got only 12 more steps after this, like 12 more lines. So you know, when you got to 10, when you're doing the brim, you're pretty well halfway through your project, which I think is pretty exciting. Now you're going to come around back to where you started, and those are not always easy to find, that one. And that one will have the slip knot that you started your project to go. So, and what we want to do now, before we get the last, we want to make sure that all the loose ends are all tucked inside of the brim where it's going to fold over. And that's how you hide them. So they're going to be permanently inside the brim. So nobody will see where you started your project. And again, making you look very professional. So this one has the slip knot to it. There. And there's one more. Voila. So now you got it all on there. So this is what it will look like. So the brim's up. So now you can kind of push it down if you want. And now what we want to do only, now starting back, just like you did before on the left, we want to start back like we've been doing, like, because we wrap to the left and we take off to the right. So we just want to take the top, bottom piece only. So leaving on the green and the wrap, we only want the bottom. Okay? So leaving the green and this one, just taking the bottom. And now this is affixing your green into position, so the next time we go to wrap this thing, we're going to be all solid green. So keep doing that all the way around your project. Well, I hope I was doing that in the camera, but just keep going all the way around. And it is a little bit tougher to get over the pegs, because you are putting it around more material. The next one is probably the hardest one at all, because not only are you taking the whites over, but you're taking the greens over too, and there's a lot of tension, so it can be a little bit nasty. So just don't go reefing on it and bending your hook. Now you will notice my hook is bent. if you did see that. You know, I purposely bend it. I find that it's easier when it's already somewhat bent in the middle area here. It for leverage reasons, I find it's easier on my hands, that it's less to do. Also too, technically I always use the pegs as kind of like a lever to get over, and so then the material is sitting right at the bending point. So that's just something that I found so to be easier for myself. So do what's right for you. Again, that's what works for me, might not work for you. So we're almost all the way around our project. The worst thing you can do is if your tension is too brutal, that you can actually break a peg or even bend your hook. So we just want to make sure we're just going at a nice steady pace. And you will note this project goes about 45 minutes, so it doesn't take that long to make one of these. The wonderful thing about starting the green at this particular point is that it's ready for the next round, so you go right from the brim right to your color. If you start at the next color too late, then you actually see a line before the fold and it actually kind of looks stupid. So there you go. So the fold is now complete. It's all in there now. So now what we're going to just do. So that was row number 10. So check off number 10, and now we're going to start on our other line, 1 to 12. Now, we're only using one piece of material. If you want to use two at this point, you can use two. I find, look-wise, it's easier to wrap it twice and to pull over than it is to use two strings, and I think it's just the tension points with this. So what we're going to do is that we're just going to wrap all the way around once. So let's just code like we were before. And because we're only using one string and there's a gauge issue, and the gauge issue is the fact that the pegs are so far apart from each other that this 4-ply Bernat yarn is not thick enough to really give a good quality. So we have to double up on it. It is easier to, and it looks nicer, to double up on this by wrapping it twice. So we just went around once. We're going to push everything down. So we want the two greens to kind of stay together, and they will stay together, but we just got to get past this round first. So we just went around once. Let's go again. So I just pushed halfway down. I get a lot of questions on what kind of styler pen that I'm using. Again, going back to the starting of this video, it's just a generic dollar store pen. I just took out the middle piece of it. The ideal thing is to get the starting point that it actually slides in between the hooks or in between the pegs, and this one doesn't, but I've kind of figured out a way just to kind of lean it and pull down and then pull up using the pegs. Okay, so we're back to the start. So now what you're going to be looking at here, we got two greens, okay, and then you got your white plus your your eyelash, and your green, and you're going to take the bottom section and put it over the top, so you're just revealing a green. So this one can be a little bit difficult because you got 3 strings that are going over, but you can see now that the two greens are actually working and looking like one string. And that's exactly what we're looking for the quality level of this project. So just keep wrapping all the way, or keep moving your things over the top. This is called the twist knit stitch, if you're ever wondering what it is. I find it's really great. The quality that you get off these looms, I tell you, for the $15 investment of these looms, I think they're great. You can actually make quality that you could sell. You know, there's just some projects in crafting, it just doesn't look good. Just taking the bottom up and over. So you can see I've got the loom facing toward me, pulling up and toward me and down. And this would be my equivalent to working with the upside down. Now, okay, so what is the good side of this thing? If you're looking at it, the good side is actually on the inside of the ring. So if you look at it, it's actually coming, the good side of it is coming through here, not from what we can see. We always, when we're looking at it, we're always looking at the nasty side of it through the center. So just to give you a heads up on that. So we're just completing then. This is row number 1 of your secondary list of 1 to 12. So that was row number 1. So we're just going to check that off, and let's move along to your next row. And so we're just going to go around just like we did before. So just wrap. And one thing I really like about the styler pen is that level of tension really is more fabulous. You don't overwrap it to the point where it's too tight. It tends just to slide on, and in many ways I feel like I'm painting with yarn, just kind of like it's a pen that's just leaving something behind, like a spider web. So what I normally do at this point, now I have to wrap this twice, remember, I don't bother to push this down. I just go back over it. And really, the reason for it is that these two yarns, this wrapping them twice, they really have to work together anyway. So by pushing it down, it's kind of a waste of time. They're going to work together this way. So we go all the way to the starting point again. Again, holding it down, and then we just take the bottom, as you can see, and just push up and over. So that's all you have to do for next 12. Sorry, we have already done one. This is the second rotation, so you only have to do this 10 more times, and your hat is done. So what we're going to do, just go from, so that was 1, 2, this is number 2, so go all the way to number 12. We'll meet you back up, get your darning needle, and we're going to fasten off the top of this hat, and go from there. So I'll see you in a few seconds, video wise, and probably about maybe 20 minutes real time in order to meet back up with you. Okay, so I've just finished my 12th round. It didn't take very long, and basically we still have our styler pen on, and what I want to do now is cut this particular string about 1.5 to 2 feet long. And you need a little bit of a length, even though you're only using a section of it right in the very beginning, you need that length in order to cast off. So let's do that. So using my fancy dancy scissors. Okay, so that's cut. Let's take the styler pen out, and your loom knitting set should come with a plastic needle, and we want to put that string that's coming from there onto the needle. So we've just finished off on the right hand side of the peg, so on the right hand side of this knob here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on the left like we did before, like as if we're going to wrap, and what we're just going to do is slide the needle under and slide the needle going in the upward position. It's easier if it's going in the upward position, and I'll show you why in a bit. So just slip it up and just take it off the peg, just like so, and then pull the rest of the material through. So I'm going to put this down on the table. Okay, so you want to make sure you only got one string, so if there's extra, just pull it through. Okay, so go to the next one, up and through. And by coming up, I learned this the hard way, is that it keeps the pegs in line together, or it keeps them in line together so that it just is like it's kind of like a clothesline, I guess I would describe that, and it's just a lot easier to deal if you come in the up position. So just continue to go all the way around. This doesn't take any time at all to do this. And usually when I do this, it's just the friggin' camera angle doesn't work. So what I would do is just keep the loom facing down so that this particular string is dangling, therefore it doesn't catch on any of the pegs. Okay. So continue to go. I'll keep my mouth shut and let's. So as you get halfway through, you're noticing that you're pulling off just like so. So as you get halfway through, you can start pulling it a little bit tighter, because eventually what we're going to do is we're going to pull this string completely so that it seals up the whole top of the hat. But I'll wait to do that so I can actually show you. Normally I would start doing it while it was on the loom toward the final steps, but we won't today because I want to show you how we're pulling that together. So this is a great way of casting off. It's very, very simple. And for all intents and purposes, it makes that top of the hat perfect every time. I really like loom knitting. There's not a lot you can do with loom knitting. It's kind of limited by the size of the round loom, but you know what? It's perfect every time, and you don't have to have the manual dexterity in your hands in order to work with this. So if you have arthritis or any kind of hand issues, loom knitting is really wonderful for that. And when you drop a stitch, you can tell you drop a stitch, and it's very unlikely anyway with loom knitting, but if you did, it's very easy to tell. So you could finish off this elf hat with the pom-pom on the top if you want to. I'm not going to, but that's, again, you're the designer. You do what you want. You may even want a nice, beautiful crochet smiley flower on the top of this. Who knows? It's up to you. So it just took the last one off, so the ring is now free. Okay, so we're going to pull it through the final one. And now what we want to do is just pull this string tight. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh, the top of your hat is now going to be formed. And usually it always kind of forms into like a 4 area, like so. So we'll leave that in the camera view. So now what I just do is that now I've finished on this side, what I'll do is I'll just turn it, okay, so that it's on the other side of me right at this point. And I would stick in my needle in the top on this side, coming back all the way through. And just pull it through. And then this needle just jumps over. So you can't even see where you're sealing that off because the colors are just working so perfectly. So now what I would do, we just came out over here. So then I would jump on the angle over here. Just coming through and through. Just like that. Again, look at that. And so now what I would do at this point is that I would come down toward me. So away from me, so come down in, going away. I'm pulling it nice and tight. And so what I would then do is just slip it under a few strings, to kind of, just a few strings on the top. Now you got to watch it. See how the back angle there is like really, well, the back of it is really thick. It's sometimes hard to get through some of this yarn. So sometimes you have to move it further down in order to get it to go through. So I'm going to try that again. So I kind of want to create like a knot right on the top. And not really a knot, but I just want to go through the loop, just like so. Go through the loop, go through, pull it tight, and now what you want to do is stick your needle down through the center point, and let's turn your hat inside out. And again, this is the side that we've been looking at through this entire project. Pull it through. And now what we're going to just do, just pull it through a few strings on this side to create some knots. And at the end, you'll just cut the string nice and fell out. And so I'm just going to try that one more time. And done. So nice and tight. Cut your string relatively short. You got a nice knot in there, and voila, your elf hat is now complete. And you can tell, like in the brim area, it was just perfect. So this is really wonderful ideas in order to do. So this particular Santa hat that I did is that I, instead of wrapping twice like I did here with the green, I actually used a secondary shiny color to make that. So these are really wonderful elf and Santa hats for babies. And if you're more interested too, we also have another tutorial, and this is the Santa Booties. Very, very simple. This is the same kind of pattern as the 20-minute baby booty pattern that we have. And again, I mixed the same 2 colors together to create these. And you could also make elf boots if you wanted to, using the green and the white instead. So the power is up to you and what you like. So there you go. That's it.